Hello, I'm Karla McLaren, and I'm so pleased to introduce you to our newest card deck, which is for kids, and it's called Emotions, Making Friends with Your Feelings. We've been in the preparation for this card deck for many years as we try to figure out the best way to help kids learn their emotions, considering that they probably don't want to sit and read a big book about emotions. So this 37 card deck helps kids enter into the world of emotions in a couple of different easy ways. First is we've put emotions into 4 families: the fear family, the sadness family, the anger family, and the happiness family. And so if a child is sort of not knowing how they feel, they just feel something, bringing them into these 4 families can help them figure it out. It's like, are you in a happiness area or an anger area or a sad area, right? They can figure out from there. Once you decide, okay, I'm feeling one of the anger family emotions right now. And I'm feeling cranky. So it's anger. You can help the child go to the anger card. There's cards for each of the emotions, and they can choose what level of anger are they feeling. Oh, they're cranky, so it's the 3rd one down. They could be furious, they could be annoyed, but right now they're cranky. And so at the bottom of this, it says, anger helps you know what's important to you. It helps you stand up for yourself and others and stand for what feels right and true, right? Notice that we're helping a child develop vocabulary, but also develop a very specific vocabulary. This is extremely helpful in working with emotions, right? Then if they're interested to go further, they can look on the back and they can find the questions for anger and the gifts that anger brings to them. And so a gift would be, anger helps me protect and stand up for myself and others. So if anger has come forward in the child, then something important has occurred, and anger is telling the child, what is important? What do I value? What kind of line has been stepped across? Then the child can make decisions based on that, instead of certainly what I heard when I was angry when I was little, which was, you need to cheer up, or you need to go to your room, or you need to go to the principal's office. Nobody helped me understand that anger had a purpose. And so if I had had these cards when I was little, it would have changed my life for the better. It would have been awesome. So those are the vocabulary words, the gifts, and the questions to ask of anger to start working with it. Now, when kids are wanting to learn more about emotions, there's also playing with cards. There's a number of cards that help them play with each of their emotions. And we invite them into scenarios that should normally bring that emotion forward so they can sort of play with it. For instance, playing with your anger. Pretend that your friend takes one of your books without asking. How do you feel? Think of ways to speak up and say how you feel without hurting your friend. So we're teaching not just what anger does, but how to work with it in a way that is going to work for relationships, rather than just, you need to give that back, the way that many of us learn to work with anger. So it's a teaching game, it's a vocabulary game, it's an emotional identification game, and it helps kids understand that their emotions, each one of them, has a very specific purpose, and it's very important. There's no bad emotions, right? And so this can help a child develop a stronger self-awareness, but also an awareness of others and their emotions too. The cards come with a little card that says, how to use these cards, but also a little brochure that talks about the cards and how to help kids make friends with their feelings, how adults can approach this so that they don't come in and start telling a child they can't have their emotions, which is what most of us learned. So this is a wonderful deck, lots of different colored bags to choose from. And this information is based on my book, The Language of Emotions, and also a simpler version, which is the Language of Emotions workbook, right? So everybody in the family can join in and learn how to work with their emotions. Your emotions are not the opposite of rationality. They are at the foundation of everything you think, everything you believe, everything you do, every vote you cast, every decision you make. Knowing more about your emotions will make you smarter in every area of your life. And for children, knowing more about emotions will help them begin to know themselves, not just within themselves, but also in the whole world of their relationships. So I invite you to come and check out the new emotion cards for kids. They're fun.